Good morning, everybody. I have our special guest here, Tiffanie Phillips with iFinance Mortgage. We're going to talk a little bit. Tiffanie, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
So I'm Tiffanie Phillips. I am with a broker outside of Irvine, California, iFinance Mortgage, and I'm licensed in a couple of states, Texas, Arizona, California. And I do residential, commercial, so commercial loans. I've been in it a little over 4 years.
Okay.
So, this past year, I really started to really get into the educating.
Right.
And, I also do a podcast, which is TiffDoesLoans. And just try to get with all the media lately.
Definitely.
It's like try to get that information and put more of our buyers that are on the sidelines more at ease.
Of course.
And kind of help guide them.
Oh, definitely, definitely. What made you get into the industry?
Yeah. So I was actually in the bar industry for almost like 15 years.
Okay.
I felt like I chose this career 2 years prior, but we were making such good money at where I was, and I just couldn't really commit to like the transferring of, starting a new career. So when COVID happened, we were the first one to kind of lose our jobs, and really it was a blessing in disguise for me.
Right.
So I hopped in there and I just did the course. I passed the test. I started at a retail. So I did work on a lot of files. I was with retail for over 2 years.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, it was wild.
No, I bet. Totally different industry as well, too.
But I'm really glad that I went that way because on the broker side, it is definitely more, relationship building, referral based. And that definitely gave me the confidence to, I've worked on we always joke it was kind of a sweatshop. They're just anybody can go online and get to, these big lenders. So it's you really have to, you're constantly on the phones just talking. So I did put together so many files. I probably closed about 85 loans with them in 2 years. So going through the process, and then I finally got to that point where I'm okay, it was slow. It was slow last year, but I'm it's time. So I did, luckily, I found my broker, which I definitely picked the right one. We have that culture. Even last year in such a tough time, the support and everything was just what I needed.
Very good.
And now being on the broker side, so I've been on the broker side or my own business for a little over a year, maybe a year and a half.
Okay.
So really glad that I made that move, even as tough of a market that it was. Absolutely. Now I can really, just help my clients more.
For sure.
I can shop different lenders. I can get them the best pricing. I can get them in the right spot. And I can, bounce through different programs.
Definitely.
Rather than just having one rate sheet.
Exactly.
I can only do 4 different programs. And it was just if I couldn't help them, then I lose that client.
Right. And knowing you and after talking to you, of course. No, knowing her and after talking to her, she will find the program for you for sure.
Yeah.
So, very good. I know that you mentioned earlier to me that one of your specialty audiences that you work for and work with is U.S. retired and active military.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that, Tiffanie.
I love my veterans. I have kind of seen, once you've built your business in a couple of years, I start to look back who is choosing me, who am I actually working with the most, the best. I kind of see I usually close the most with married couples and veterans.
Okay.
So, and even this year, it's been all veterans. So I've really been learning. I've been focusing on the education part of it, and I hope to really grow this as we continue.
Definitely.
But really becoming a source and going over, especially what the VA loan can do. A lot of people don't know, you can still say you're single and you're active, you can still use that and get 2-4 unit, and then by the time you get out of the military, now you have this equity. Maybe you're going to get married. Maybe now you're going to get your primary. So it's really, there's so many options available for them that, you know, just don't have like the proper education. So I've really been leaning in and wanting to be that resource and education.
Very good. Well, I know you mentioned that, and it's a good point for anybody who's, you know, questioning whether they can qualify or whether their situation, you know, is ready to go into that direction. It's definitely, I'm sure, give you a call and you can figure it out, because as you mentioned, there's tons of ways to get around things. So
and there's so much leeway that a lot of veterans don't know. Like if you call certain companies, maybe like big lenders, or they only have, you know, that qualifying credit. But there's so many more. Like I'm getting, you know, my veterans in that are below 500 credit score or still great pricing. Like they're definitely more lenient, like on the debt to income, you know, the loan limits, like all of that is different when you compare it to like a traditional.
Correct.
So they definitely have more leeway, and I feel like just some are still like holding back a little bit, like, oh no, like, you know, my credit and this, and it's like that's why I'm trying to help, like, even if it is, I can still set you up on a plan.
Perfect.
And still kind of get the best lender for them.
Excellent. Well, here at Westlake, we love our veterans as well.
I know.
And just to touch base on that, we will be offering active and retired U.S. military 15% off of escrow.
That would be awesome.
So if we can bundle that in some way, I mean, we love our veterans as well.
Yeah.
We definitely, you know, have the utmost respect for them, as I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah.
But that's great to know, especially when we have clients that have questions like that, we can definitely refer them to you, or, you know, just get them over and make sure that we can find the best program available for their situation, for sure.
Because there's different lenders, there's different leniency, you know, when it comes to the underwriting. Even with veterans, there's manual underwrites, which, you know, we don't get that on conventional loans.
Okay.
So we could, even if it doesn't pass the system, we can still get it to an underwriter and still get you in that home.
Right.
So there's definitely a lot of more angles to it. And anybody, that is amazing that you guys are doing that. I love that. Especially even the refinances coming in right now.
Yes.
The VA still had the lowest rates, but they were still, you know, now we're getting back into the 4 and 5. So now it's time to, you know, get those payments lowered for them. Also a smooth process.
Do you think it's a good time to refinance right now?
Absolutely. Depending on where you are. Some people are in 7 and 6s. Do it now.
Yes.
You know, do it now. Like for the FHA and the VA loans, the positive thing on that is when we refinance them, those are just to lower your payment. So you don't have to, there's no like LTV, there's no like appraisal. So you don't have to be at a certain amount of equity. There are no income like documents. It's really a smooth process just to get that payment lowered for you. So at this time, even if you're like in a high 6 and we can get you in the low 5s, that's still like 150 to 160.
And you know, every penny counts nowadays for sure. So that's great to hear, though.
And really, the only like costs that really come with it for the most part is like restarting the escrow and stuff.
Right.
So even if we're like, see now, you know, we're going to be partnered together, and even that is going to be lower. So especially for the refinances, all of my clients, I mean, I'm putting them with the lenders that are giving the incentives, that are making it the least amount up front.
Right.
You know, plus we can set it up to benefit to where, you know, line it up for them to where they, you know, might not have a payment for, you know.
Yeah, whatever's more attractive to them as well. I mean, like I'm sure everybody's ready to save.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Just give me the loan, and then I'm going to line it up for you perfectly.
She's definitely your girl, that's for sure. So
I'm going to connect those dots. You just got to bring me all the all the pieces.
Yes, exactly.
I'll put them together.
Sounds good. Excellent, Tiffanie.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. If there's anything else that you wanted to add.
Yeah. Well, why don't you, so I am here, and why don't you kind of tell me how you guys got started?
Okay. So this was a family business. Our founder is Liz Fialos. She is my aunt. And same thing, so growing up, she was just such a powerful businesswoman, somebody very admirable, that it was just hard not to follow her lead into it. So definitely the ups and downs. So once I got in, what really pulled me in was being able to help people of in all aspects of life. So giving them that word that, you know what, your escrow is closed, you're finally a homeowner. It just gives chills to me even thinking about it still, because it's like, I've been in that position. I've been in those shoes. I know how hard it is. And just being given that gratification that you're able to help somebody really, fulfills me. So that's how I kind of got started. Westlake has been in business. We're celebrating coming up our 20th year anniversary. So it's definitely been, there's been ups and downs.
Yeah.
The industry, we all know, the industry is not
very
wild, very up and down at the moment, but definitely persevering through it because we have such a strong client base that's been, very loyal to us, and we appreciate all of them. So definitely.
I love that. Yeah. I just feel especially and if you guys have been in business for like 20 years, it's like this is a usual, yes, this market was different than, the other markets that were tough, and they're always going to be different, but there's always, areas in the market, and it seems like you guys have been weathered through so many different ones.
For sure.
So I really do also look for that when I'm looking for escrow officers for my clients, just to kind of have that experience and know that when something comes up, it's like, we're going to get through it.
Oh, definitely.
Like, that team is everything.
And it's definitely that adversity that we've gone through that has really, proven that we are here in the long run. We do see the light at the end of the tunnel. Interest is high, but eventually it will steadfastly come down, and we're definitely excited for that for sure.
Know. So like when I tell my clients, the most important part right now, thing right now in this market is to pick your team.
Yes.
So it's also like, they don't get to pick you guys.
Exactly.
But we do, and I think that's, when you have like a loan officer and a title company and a realtor, like the listing, that we're all, just on top of it and like smooth. I have seen, I even on a VA loan recently, we got a 7-day close, and it was like, but that was like rock stars on every side. That was title, like we are all,
everybody has to come together all
and
at the
we
same
were all
time.
Just awesome. So it's like, the most important thing, I think, like picking. Picking that
for
team.
Sure. It's definitely that team that you surround yourself with that really, closes the deal. And I couldn't be, more of an advocate for that, because if you do not have the right team with your best interest in mind, then, it's stressful enough already as it is. I can't even imagine.
With the borrower in mind.
Definitely with the borrower in mind.
With them. Like knowing that, like, we need to get this quote,
Yes,
and I've been there, especially when things are holed up.
For sure.
Okay, so and I love this question, just for like our audience, or even like me, I was in the mortgage industry probably for a couple of years, and I knew that I was like part of escrow, but like, what is escrow? Like when people say like, oh, you're going in escrow, I feel like a lot of people say it, but they don't actually like
really understand the specific meaning
of like
it.
It's just like you get a house and you go in escrow.
So I feel like the easiest way to understand what escrow is, for all of you that don't know, and it's not a silly question at all, we get asked that a lot. So escrow is a third party. We are a neutral third party for both sides, the seller and the buyer side. We are the third party that holds the money into a savings account, and then we will disperse once all conditions have been met and that the file has closed. So definitely that is the gist of escrow. Exactly. So that's where the kind of like the middleman in between the two parties, and again, we're neutral on both sides, and we look for the smoothest way to get to the finish line.
Yeah.
So I can guarantee you here at Westlake that we definitely, we go above and beyond for each one of our clients. And as you can tell, for 20 years in business, we've definitely been able to attest to that for sure. So
awesome.
yes.
Well, thank you.
Of course. No, thank you, Tiffanie. Thank you so much. Looking forward to hearing from you guys soon. You guys, again, Tiffanie Phillips with iFinance Mortgage. Thank you so much.
All of my, I do also have a podcast it's on YouTube, TiffDoesLoans. So I also interview, if you're looking for realtors and getting into investing.
Perfect.
And this will also be on there.
Definitely.
So
well, you
so
guys
much.
heard her. Give her a shout out. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.